Hi, this is Matthew Cratter from Trader University, and today I want to talk about how to buy and store Bitcoin the right way. If you're interested in Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies in general, or just want to see what I'm trading these days, be sure to hit that subscribe button. So why buy Bitcoin right now? I'm going to start with the why, and then we're going to move on to the how. Well, the main reason right now, there are two main reasons. One, we've just had a giant crash in global stock markets due to the dynamics surrounding the coronavirus. And as a result, all the central banks are going to need to print a lot of new money. Now they need to do this. They're going to need to do this because interest rates are so low already. They're actually negative in Europe and Japan. They're mostly below 1% in the U.S. on their way to zero. And so central banks are going to need to print money, mostly to buy the government debt that's going to be issued. So there's going to be a lot of money printing, which means if you own $100 today, in 5 years from now, it's going to be worth a lot less than $100. It's still going to say $100 on there, but it's going to have a lot less purchasing power simply because the central banks, and there's this famous quote from Ben Bernanke, who used to be the head of the Fed here, the U.S. government has a technology called a printing press, or today its equivalent, that allows it to produce as many U.S. dollars as it wishes at essentially no cost. So I believe the central banks of the world are going to print a lot of money, a lot of fiat money, fiat currencies to prop up global stock markets, commodity markets, real estate markets, etc. And this is really a perfect storm we're getting because at the same time that all this central bank money printing is going to be starting, we have what's called the Bitcoin halving coming, where I'm not going to go into this technically, but basically the rewards that miners of Bitcoin get, the reward is going to drop in half somewhere around May 9th, 10th, 11th. And the result of this is going to be an increasing supply shortage of Bitcoins, since these miners will not be compensated as much per Bitcoin. And what has normally happened is about 6 months after the halving, there's been a huge run up in Bitcoin. So the last halving was in 2016, in the middle of 2016, I believe. And then 2017, Bitcoin was crazy. It went from, call it 1,000 to 20,000. I don't remember the exact numbers. But I think something similar is going to happen now, and it's going to be exacerbated by all the central bank money printing. Now, before you buy Bitcoin, again, none of this is an investment recommendation. You need to read two things. I would follow Plan B on Twitter. This is I'm going to link to all this in the description notes below. Very smart guy, works for a company in Europe that manages over 100 billion in retirement money. He's a very smart quantitative modeler, quantitative trader, and he has a great article. So anyways, worth following on Twitter. And at the top of his Twitter profile, you'll see this pinned tweet that will take you to a Medium article that he wrote modeling Bitcoin's value with scarcity. And what this model suggests is that Bitcoin will be at or above 100,000 by the end of 2021. Maybe sooner, but certainly by then. This same model predicts Bitcoin values of 300 or 400,000 per Bitcoin by 2024, and I believe 2 or 3 million by 2028. You can read all this stuff on his website and in his articles to find out the details, but all of which is to say, I mean, Bitcoin right now is around 5,000 per Bitcoin. So if it just goes to 100,000, you're making 20 times on your money. This is a very rare kind of opportunity. Now, Bitcoin has crashed very hard on Thursday, and I've been getting a lot of questions about that as well. The main reason it crashed, in my opinion, was just forced selling. Everything went down. Bonds even went down. Gold went down. And what happens is Bitcoin is the most liquid. It's the most easy to trade. It settles very, very within a couple minutes or a couple hours. So it's almost instant settlement. You don't have to wait 2 or 3 days. And there are also no trading curbs or circuit breakers like you have in the stock market. So this thing basically will trade. It can really move anywhere. It's very volatile. And so I thought Pierre Rochard had a very good thing on Twitter. Bitcoin has proven itself to be easier to liquidate than stocks, bonds, real estate, and gold. This is just what I was saying. Thanks to 24/7 final settlement and 24/7 exchange trading. It trades all weekend, trades all the time, And as a result, it's gotten hit really hard, which means that there's a really big opportunity if you believe Plan B's model and if you believe that we're going to get a lot of central bank money printing. So I've been buying Bitcoin since it was around 10,000. So 5,000, it's a 50% off sale. So that's the basic stuff behind Bitcoin. I can go more into Plan B's model if you guys are interested. Just let me know in the notes below. But then we get to the question, how to buy and store Bitcoin. Again, none of this is investment advice, but in my opinion, if you're going to buy a crypto, there's only one to buy. It's Bitcoin. It's got all the network effects. It's got all the smart programmers working on it. Don't waste your time with Litecoin or Ethereum or Bitcoin SV. You want BTC, in my opinion, not investment advice. So how do you get exposure to this? How do you actually buy and safely store Bitcoin? I've been getting a lot of questions about this, so I thought I'd just drop everything into one video. Now, the first way, which I don't especially like, but it's perhaps better than nothing, is called the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And this trades just like a stock under the ticker GBTC, as in Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Now, the things I don't like about this, so basically if you see it trading at 6.32, that's roughly equivalent to a Bitcoin price of 6,320. But you can see from the chart here that Bitcoin is actually trading about $1,000 below that. So the problem with buying GBTC is you're always going to be overpaying. It always trades at a premium to Bitcoin simply because it's a very easy way to trade Bitcoin, and it's a very easy way to stick Bitcoin in a retirement account, for example. It's much more difficult to stick Bitcoin into a retirement account otherwise. Though I will tell you one way to do it later in this video, so make sure you keep watching. Now, the other thing I don't like about GBTC is that it charges an annual fee of 2%, which is pretty steep for something like this. It's just an indexing product that just gives you, basically it's a fund that gives you exposure to Bitcoin. I don't like the 2% fee. Of course, if you think Bitcoin's going to go up a lot, like I do, 2% is not a huge deal. On the other hand, if something's going to go up 100x and you pay 2%, you're basically you're paying 2 times the current value of it in fees, because every dollar today is worth call it $10 or $100 if Bitcoin does what I think it's going to do. So GBTC, it's a very easy way to do it. Problems, trades at a premium. I'm going to link to this dashboard here. You can see right now that it's trading at about a 20% premium to where Bitcoin actually is. So 2% annual fee, trades at a premium. And the other problem with this is you own shares in this trust, or whatever the legal term is for that. You do not actually control the Bitcoin. If you don't control your private keys, you don't control your Bitcoin. Private keys are a little bit like a password in email or an online account. But here you're basically trusting that they will hold Bitcoin for you and that they will have the Bitcoin if you ever need it. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? I know nothing about this company. They could just be pretending to buy Bitcoin and not really holding it. You just never know. You never know. They could also be seized by the government, and in that case, you're out of luck. U.S. government declares Bitcoin illegal, shuts down the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and maybe your money disappears or something terrible like that. Again, I don't know anything about Grayscale. It's probably a good company, but you have to kind of run these scenarios through your head. So there's GBTC, which I don't like for those reasons. Now, an easy way to buy Bitcoin, another easy way that would be, I think, a slightly better choice is the Cash app. You can just Google Cash. I guess it's cash.app or Google Cash app. Now, you can buy Bitcoin on this app on your phone, and then you can withdraw the Bitcoin and send it to one of your addresses. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Now, I don't like Cash App as much. It's an easy way to buy Bitcoin, so that's kind of cool. But it also has a fairly high fee at the moment. I think it used to be they didn't charge trading fees, but now it costs you 1.76% fee to buy Bitcoin. Now, if you own GBTC, you're going to be paying 2% every single year. So after 10 years, you will have paid 20% of the value. And if this thing goes up, if you invest $1,000 in this and it goes to 100K, and you're still holding it in the trust, you're now going to be paying that 2% on that 100K. So that's going to be $2,000. You can be paying twice what your original investment was. So this is a reason to avoid fees. The nice thing about the Cash App is that you only pay this fee once. It's close to the 2% that Grayscale, that GBTC charges, but it's a one-time fee. Again, I think still a little bit steep. So here's what I like to do. I like Coinbase. So what I did is I opened up an account with Coinbase, and then once you have an account with them, I don't know how it works now because I did this many years ago, but you can just basically email them or contact support and say, upgrade me to Coinbase Pro. In my opinion, you don't want to buy Bitcoin using Coinbase itself. The commissions and fees are just are too high. I think they're more than 2% if I remember correctly. So you actually, what I did is I opened up a Coinbase account, which I guess I still have, and then I converted it to Coinbase Pro. Now Coinbase Pro is much more reasonable, their trading fees, and you can see they basically have pricing tiers based on how much you're trading. So if you're trading less than $10,000, you're buying or selling less than $10,000 of Bitcoin, there are two fees, a taker fee and a maker fee. In this case, they're both 0.5 percentage point, so much less than 2%, a quarter of that amount. A taker fee is basically where you take liquidity out of the market, you execute using an order that's on their order book. A maker fee is you put in a limit order and you basically are creating liquidity in the Bitcoin market. And you can see for higher amounts, if you're trading 100K to $1 million, the maker fee is just 10 basis points, 1/10 of 1%, versus the taker fee. And so they basically reward you for providing liquidity to the market. So I like Coinbase Pro. Open up an account with Coinbase. You convert it to a Coinbase Pro account. You ACH or wire money in just from your regular U.S. Bank account. I'm not sure exactly how this works in countries outside the U.S., but I imagine it'd be very similar. And then you go on to Coinbase Pro, and it looks something like this. You've got Bitcoin here, so you can see I've bought 4.72 Bitcoin in this account. I have some cash here waiting to deploy. And basically you can buy and sell. It's very, very simple here. You just type in how many US dollars worth of Bitcoin you want to buy or sell. You can use limit orders, so you specify your price. So then you buy your Bitcoin. Now here's the key thing. You don't want to store your Bitcoin on an exchange. In other words, I should not be keeping my Bitcoin here. And I will be withdrawing this fairly soon. So what you are going to want to do after you buy your Bitcoin, if you decide that this is a good investment for you, if you consult with your personal financial advisor and decide that you want to own some Bitcoin, you buy it on Coinbase Pro here, pay very low fees, and then you click this withdraw button when you're ready. And then you click on Bitcoin. This is after you bought some Bitcoin. You have Bitcoin in your Coinbase account. And then what it will do is it will let you withdraw the Bitcoin. And it will let you withdraw to what's called a crypto address. And what you're going to do, or what I did, is I withdrew my Bitcoin and I put it onto a hardware wallet. This is a safe way, in my opinion, the safest way to store Bitcoin on a hardware wallet. It basically looks like this. It's a little device, and what you do is you buy the Bitcoin on Coinbase, and then you add you buy either a Trezor.io. These are my two favorite hardware wallets, a Trezor or a Cold Card wallet. And once you bought them, they will give you directions how to set up your Trezor wallet, hardware wallet. And then what you do is they'll also give you a public address on the Bitcoin network. And you'll go to Coinbase Pro, you'll basically enter the address in your address book here, and then you'll be able to withdraw the Bitcoin and store them on a hardware wallet, either Trezor or Cold Card. And once you have your Bitcoin on a Trezor or a Cold Card wallet, your Bitcoin is completely safe. You control the what are called the private keys. And so no one can take it from you. The only way they can take it from you is at gunpoint, saying, give me your private keys, or give me your seed phrase. When you set up a hardware wallet, they're going to create for you something called a seed phrase, which is just 12 or 24 words usually, and that will be a backup. You can memorize these words. You can write them on a piece of paper and put them in a safe place. And they will be a backup in case this hardware wallet is ever destroyed, if your house burns down or if it floods or something terrible like this. And if you control your Bitcoin by holding it on a hardware wallet like this, no one can take it from you. Governments can't take it from you. It can't be hacked. If you've heard about Mt. Gox or various other exchanges that have been hacked, it cannot happen when you control your private keys, unless you share your seed phrase or your private keys with someone. So big picture, money printing, Bitcoin halving coming in May of this year. I love Bitcoin here. It's just trading irrationally low. If you look at the at this dashboard, which I'm going to link to below, and you look on the right side here where it says stock to flow, this will give you the model price, the Plan B stock to flow model price. You can see it's currently at 7,638, whereas Bitcoin itself is just at 5,374. So it's trading below where it should be trading right now, according to the model. And then, of course, the model is projecting these just enormous numbers after the May 2020 halving. Anywhere from 50 to 100K in 2020, and then certainly at or above 100,000 per Bitcoin by 2021, according to Plan B's model. Now, if you want to see, or I should say one last thing, if you want to get Bitcoin or any other crypto into your IRA, I'm also going to link to a great video by Vulcan Trader here that tells you how to do it. It's fairly elaborate, but this would be a way. For example, if you have a Roth IRA and you put Bitcoin in it, when it comes time to pull it out, you will not have to pay any taxes on it, which is just insane. You could buy $10,000 worth of Bitcoin today. It goes up 100x. Let's hope that's at least what the model is. Probably goes up even more than that. And so you've got $1 million sitting in a Roth IRA, and you never have to pay taxes on it in the U.S. You can withdraw it tax-free after you're 62 or 65, whatever the number is. Now, if you want to see what I'm doing with this Coinbase account and see a little more of this in depth, check out my course called Follow My Cryptocurrency Investments. This was set up to invest in lots of different cryptos before I realized that I only really like Bitcoin. But there are a ton of lectures here, and you can see how I've been accumulating Bitcoin in this account and exactly how I've been storing it on a hardware wallet. So I'll put a link to this in the description notes below. And if you decide to sign up for this, there's also going to be a coupon code down there that you can use. And when you do it, you're going to get access to all my other courses, including Learn to Trade Stocks Like a Pro, Learn to Trade Options Like a Pro, bear market trading strategies, etc., etc. So hopefully you found that helpful. That's sort of the big picture. Again, Bitcoin it's a new technology. It's been around for only 11 years. Definitely a risky investment, but one way to look at it is if you put 1% of your current net worth into it and it goes up 100-fold, you will have basically doubled your net worth. You'll have a whole new net worth equal to what your current net worth is. And if you only put 1% in and it goes to zero, you've lost 1% of your account. So instead of having $10,000 in your account, you now have $9,900. So it has a very good risk reward. I would definitely encourage you guys though to read this paper. It's not super technical, but goes into how we model Bitcoin scarcity and what sort of price targets we can expect going forward. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Feel free to share it with your friends who are interested in Bitcoin too and want to learn a little bit more about it. And if you haven't done so already, I'd appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and then ask me some questions in the comments below if something in here wasn't clear or if there's another type of video about Bitcoin that you'd like me to make going forward. Thanks a lot for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.